Gus Malzahn's 2024 National Signing Day press conference. Let's get it.
Here to signing day, we signed 18 high school players. We've said all along we're committed to building this thing the right way through high school players.
Hey, off the rip, he already proven all the Twitter gurus and panderers that I run into all day. They say these coaches only taking 4 or 5 high school kids and they're just going heavy in the portal. You just heard it right here. They took 18 kids on early signing day. They still have 2 months. We have 4 months because signing day. Anyway, they took 18 kids. They probably gonna take another probably 10. They could take another 10. They can fill needs. So let's keep going.
The highest rated class in school history, which is very big. 10 players from the state of Florida. Had some hometown heroes in that mix. 6 from Georgia. Really, we really focused on Atlanta, which is a very good spot for us, we feel like. And 13 of these guys will enroll early, which I think is very important with that.
Hey, as you can see, Gus Malzahn is very focused on home kids and kids that are close to home. It's easy to get kids that's real close to where you at. I will say this. Of those Atlanta kids, they got probably one of my top offensive linemen, not the biggest, only like 6'2", 305, but man, this kid is something special. Walt Claire, I never know, y'all know I'm terrible with names. Walt Flynn Jr., old Walt, big Walt, 6'2", 305, can play all 5 positions, left tackle, left guard, center guard, tackle, play it all. Gus Malzahn has been doing a really good job recruiting the state of Georgia over the last 2 years. He got a lot of kids I liked last year. He even got E.J. Colson. I think he's like a 2-time state champion quarterback in the state of Georgia. Gus Malzahn and the UCF is putting together a really nice program. They could get back on the forefront in the next year or so, maybe even next year, especially with them expanding the playoffs.
And just a brief something about each one of these guys. Frankie Arthur, our running back. Cam Martin did a super job recruiting this guy. It's Adrian Peterson's younger brother. He's a big guy. He can run. He'll have a chance to help us next year. Very excited about him. Quay Birdsong, a tall, very athletic linebacker, a physical linebacker. He can rush the passer. Went to Colby Hudson's high school, a guy that we're very familiar with, very excited about Quay. Jordan Bridgewater's a wide receiver. Got a chance to watch him, I guess, the last 2 years in 7-on-7. He's very smooth. He can run, really catches the ball. We're very excited about him. Once again, a hometown hero, which is very important. E.J. Colson, quarterback.
Ooh, just called it. And now I think about it. E.J. Colson was originally a 2025 kid. I know because I've been following how I work with one of his coaches as well, so I get to keep a little bit of tabs on EJ. I like EJ a lot. I actually want to come out of retirement and go coach up there with at Cedar Grove for a hot second. For them boy, I just really like EJ Colson. He was originally a 2025 kid, but after they won state, he reclassified to be a 2024, and now he's enrolling early at UCF. Man, it's really looking good for UCF. Being completely honest, it's looking real good.
He fits our system perfect. I got a chance to watch him play in the state championship game, I guess a couple of days ago. He was MVP. He is a dynamic thrower, runner, leader. He's got everything. We're very excited about EJ.
Hey, one thing I can tell you about EJ, and I personally watched like 4 or 5 games, like 3 games of them this year at Cedar Grove. I personally seen EJ Colson and Bo Walker put Cedar Grove on their back and win some football game. Like, I've seen it. Georgia getting Bo Walker in the 2025 class next year. He's committed to their program. Great running back, runs with power, good combination of power with speed. Not the biggest, not the fastest, but man, he gets the job done. But I've personally seen E.J. Colson will his team to a victory. And it was some games like these boys about to lose. There's some games they lost, they would have won because of E.J. Colson, because he brought them back from being down 40 points. He brought them boys all the way back to within the field goal. So I like E.J. Colson. If he can translate that to what he's doing, if he can translate that winning energy and that leadership to UCF, what?
Marcus Downs is a defensive tackle that is a really big athletic guy, about 6'5". He does a great job rushing. He's a physical guy. I think he's got a chance to be a really, really good player. Walt Claire Flynn is a guy that, really one of our more prized recruits,
Hey, I called that, and I'm watching this blind. I called that off the rip, man. Walt Claire Flynn is something special, man.
A lot of people around the country really wanted this guy. He's either the top center, number 2 center, by all the rankings and all that.
Number 1.
Army, game and everything that goes with that. This guy will have a chance to help us early. So we're really excited about Walt Claire. He's been a leader of this class. His teammate Kylan Fox, same thing, one of the better tight ends in the country. He's playing the Under Armour All-American game. A guy that he's got receiver skills, but he's a big physical guy at the tight end position. He was really one of our main guys recruiting. He did a super job leading our class also. Stacy Gage, another leader. He was really one of the first guys committed in this class that really gave us some momentum. He's a running back. Cam Martin did a super job with him also. He can do
I'm tripping.
catch. He can do everything that a running back needs to do. Jacob Good,
put it in full screen.
This guy was offered by just about everybody in the country, chose to come here. Very physical, very athletic, plays with an edge, and he'll have a chance to play early. Very excited about Jacob. Jalen Hayward, one of the top, highest rated recruits that we've ever had in school history. A guy that was committed to us.
Hey, Gus Malzahn sound like the Clear Eyes guy. Y'all probably don't know who the Clear Eyes guy is, but Clear Eyes, he sound like that dude. I will be doing a tier list for UCF. I gotta review that class. I gotta do a deep dive and break that film down. But I am going to do it. I am going to tier list it. Some people are going to like it. Some people are going to hate it. But I enjoy doing it. I'm going to have me a S tier, A tier. Listen, bro, I'm going to already tell you right now. Walt Claire Flynn Jr. is going to be in that S tier. That boy can play. I'm telling y'all that right. There ain't no secret. Walt Claire Flynn Jr. going to be in that S tier. I'm telling you that right now.
Another school in the SEC for a long time and chose to come here. Really one of the leaders in this class. He can really run, great coverage skills, great ball skills. He'll have a chance to help us early. Chasen Johnson's a guy that's come to our 7-on-7s from Seminole. We know a lot about him. He can really run too. He's got really good ball skills, some receiver in his background, and really think that he's got a chance to help us also. Chase Malamal is a guy that we circled early on. He's a big athletic guy. We really think the sky's the limit for this guy moving forward. Very excited to have him on our offensive line. And then,
hey, I'm really excited to dive into these offensive linemen because they got one of my best guys last year in Jonathan Klein, 6'4", 285, strong kid, amazing transformation. I got to watch that story from him being unrecruited, unknown, unoffered to him becoming a 3-star and pulling in, 30 offers in less than 2 months, man. I got the experience that journey. I got to help him a little bit along the way, but man, Jonathan Klein is, man, I really like that kid, man.
DJ McCormick, a linebacker from Rockledge, AP's teammate. He is also one of the leaders in this class. He can really run. He's very athletic and a very physical linebacker. Christian Peterson, a defensive back. This guy is really good at receiver too. He's got great ball skills, a great return guy. Also plays with that edge, and he's a guy I think will help us early too. Just love his attitude and his approach. Jashad Presley's a guy that came to our 7-on-7. I guess it was 2 years ago when he really stood out to me. I think that's when we offered him. He's a big guy, can really run. Really think he'll be able to help our defense, early. Riddell Richardson is a receiver that has a lot of upside as far as being a big time player. He's a guy that I really had to circle from a head coach's standpoint. Recruited him personally, really for the last year. Really excited to have him. He will play early on. I think he's the all-time leader in his high school. Got a chance to watch him in 7-on-7. He's a dynamic playmaker. Kason Stokes is a big, fast guy. He was one of the first to commit to us in this class. He's from here in Tampa, which is very, very important to us recruiting. We're very excited about him. And then Riley Turgeau, he is a dual threat quarterback. He's a big guy that really fits with what we like to do offensively. But overall, a lot of these guys will help us next year. Very excited about that. And like I said earlier, I think 13 are coming in early, which is always, really important.
Hey, you seeing a major trend of early enrollment especially with NIL. I really believe NIL is a big proponent of why a lot of these kids are enrolling early. I think Georgia had like 23 guys enrolling early. UCF has 13 guys enrolling early. And I believe a lot of it has to do with getting that money, getting that shmoney, getting that money. So anyway, let's go.
Questions?
How big of a recruiting advantage was it to be the only Big 12 school in the state of Florida when you look at the recruiting?
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was really good for us. Big 12 obviously had a lot to do with us, having the highest rated class in school history. It's a very quality league, and recruits, can see that.
This audio is so bad.
Conversations with him as far as making that move, EJ, and then how you could maybe judge those two guys.
Yeah, they're both dual threat guys within our system that we look for. And EJ decided to reclassify. I guess it was a month or so ago that he, told us he was thinking about it, and we're all for it. And he's a dynamic player. Obviously, the MVP of the state championship game. He actually led them to the state championship game the 2 years before it too. I mean, he's just a winner and can do a lot of things that to help teams win.
Hey, I just told y'all that. Hey, you heard it here first. You know what I'm saying? Your boy tapped in. Old coach plugged into these streets now. I'm just saying.
What sort of benefit do you see in him reclassifying and getting in the system earlier? Do you think does he have a chance to be on the field even as a younger?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think both those guys are what we look for. I mean, we'll see once they get here and fit into the system. But both of them are very quality quarterbacks, and EJ he's got a great name around Atlanta. A lot of guys want to play with him, and so I think that's important too.
A lot of guys want to coach him too. I know I saw the kid play. I said, bro, I gotta come out. I need to be on the sideline. But yeah, EJ, he's nice, man.
Your list of guys you got to sign, most of them are from the state, a lot of local kids as well, some up in Georgia. Going into recruiting, was that like a priority for you, and if so, why? Yeah,
well, first of all, it starts in this state, and I guess the first press conference I had when I got the job, I said it's going to start here in Florida, and we've been committed to that and building that thing the right way with high school guys. I think that's the way to go. I mean, you see a lot of these programs that, it's portal heavy, and then that's what they choose to do. But we're going to build this thing from the foundation. Our foundation is going to be with Florida high school players. Now, Georgia, we have a lot of connections with our staff. South Georgia, all the way up to Atlanta. You see how well we're doing in Atlanta. I think that will continue, and that's really what we're going to hang our hat on.
There it is again, folks. These colleges still value and will continue to value high school athletes. They're going to do it. I don't care. Don't let these gurus trick you into buying their services and products and T-shirts and jackets, whatever. Don't let them boys trick you, man. The best players in high school, the best players, not the okay players, I'm talking about the best players at the high school level are still getting taken. And that's how it's always been. Bubble kids that would have never played at the college level, they're not taking those guys. But the best player, I mean, if you are the best player at your position, they come to get you.
You have a lot of Orlando kids we've asked before about, how important is that for you to have those guys in the 407?
Yeah, it was our plan from day one, and I've recruited this area for a long time, even in my previous school, and just when I first got here, if we can keep our top players home and make it popular for them to stay home and be successful. And we've chipped away. Every year it's been a little bit better, and you see the guys having success on the field like John Walker and freshman All-American, all that. It all works together. And so everything is trending in the right direction, and we'll continue to full court press the top players, at home.
How much of this class is meshed into what you saw on the field this year in the Big 12 to help you improve in those areas?
Yeah, all these guys are quality guys that can come in and be Big 12 ready. There's no doubt about that. And, when we're recruiting, that's exactly what we're asking ourselves with everybody that we come across. Can they help us win a Big 12 championship? And the great thing about this group is they're outstanding young men, and they'll fit into our program, our culture. We don't just take anyone. I mean, we do our homework on not just their athletic ability, but the type of person they are, the character they have, and then the fit within our program.
Hey, he just gave you a bar right there. He just gave my bad. He just gave you a bar. A lot of guys think that if I'm just really, really good, I can do and say whatever I want. No, man, you can't do that, man. I know NIL pays for having a big personality, but you gotta promote yourself the right way. Can't be an a-hole. Can't be a cancer. Can't just be. You gotta be able to build effective relationship skills with coaches at every level of the sport, because you don't know who you're going to play for. That D3 coach that you just frowned on and left him on red, and guess what? He a GA at Georgia now. You know what I'm saying? So treat people, man. Treat people well. Treat people how you want to be treated. Build the relationships early. Don't wait till you're a senior after your last game to start the recruiting process. Start your freshman year. It starts with that freshman GPA. You need to be a real strong freshman GPA, 3.5 or better, and ride that out all the way through you graduate. A lot of people, and to me, I think that freshman year is probably the most important year academically, because that GPA will set your foundation for the duration of your college or your high school and your college career. That freshman GPA in college will carry you through to your senior year. That freshman year in high school will carry you through to your senior year. So take that first year seriously, man. I'm struggling today. Take that first year seriously, and let's keep going.
Yeah.
Can you take us kind of through the relationship you built with him and what the vision is for him to get on the field early?
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting him to be on the field early. There's no doubt about that. I recruited him since day one, and that was really our conversation. And, certain guys at a young age, have something really special about them, and he's got that. He's got that it factor. He's got a great personality, and just watching him play and watching him play 7-on-7, real excited that he's going to be a part of our program.
As your transfer, your thought process on the transfer portal, has it changed or evolved over the last couple of years, especially in this first season in the Big 12?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I've said before, the last 2 years have been a learning process for head coaches. Last year was different. This year is completely different. And, so it's, that thing you're built, I told you we want to build it with our high school guys. And what I've got to ask myself is immediate need. If we have immediate need, then we'll go in the portal as far as that goes. Obviously, when you go through a conference for the first year, you learn. And now we know exactly what it's like to be in this conference. And so strategic from a head coach's standpoint, that helps you put your plan together.
Were there any players currently on the roster who helped out with recruiting, someone who messaged an old teammate or someone?
I mean, I'll just say this. A lot of these guys have been recruited a long time. They got great relationships with our players. Our players have done an unbelievable job helping us recruit. And, I think that says a lot about our players. I mean, it's hard for me to single out one. I mean, there's numerous guys that develop a relationship with these guys when they come on campus, and it all works together.
Hey, there go that relationship thing again. So I personally get a whole lot of kids doubling back. Hey, coach, man, I appreciate you for what you did for me. Can you check out this guy, or can you check out that guy? More guys need people like you in their ear to give them, some real conversation. Because a lot of people lying to y'all about this recruiting stuff, man, and they taking advantage of you, and they taking your money, and you won't have nothing to show for it. So relationships matter, man. They matter a whole heck of a lot. I've seen it every day. I see it every day because I'm in the trenches with y'all every single day on Twitter, DMs, emails, questionnaires. I didn't even fill out questionnaires for some kids. I ain't even asking for nothing. I said, hey man, send me your information. I'm finna fill out this questionnaire for you. So relationships matter. Relationships matter, folks.
Timing of this day not ideal for what you have.
I feel like I'm yelling.
Relief now to turn all the attention to front.
There's a lot of moving parts right now. There's no doubt about that. This is the first time I've ever experienced at a bowl site having a signing day. But hey, there's a lot of firsts that has come about this year. So it's just part of it. But overall, it was a big time day for us, and it's exciting that we got these guys signed and ready to go. And now I can kind of turn my attention fully to the bowl. But overall, it was a great day.
In your last conversations with these guys before they signed with you, get the seventh win, get the program moving forward? How important is all that?
Yeah, I mean, that's really with our current players more than anything, just get that momentum, get that seventh win. These guys can see the future's very bright, and that's why they chose to come with us.
You mentioned the success you had in the Atlanta area. All those guys, or a bunch of those guys, committed basically within a week at the start of July. So was it almost a collaborative effort between them in addition?
The group knows each other well, and their families know each other well, and we're recruiting very hard for the 25 and 26 class around that area too, and so I think you will see that continue even more than it was this year.
Now that this process is over, are you and the coaching staff kind of able to take a step back and just let it sink in that you managed to get the highest rated recruiting class in the school history?
Nope, can't take a step back. You got to keep going.
I probably after this bowl game and you're at Christmas and you're with your family and you can kind of sit down and relax, you'll look back and that'll be the first time you're able to really go, okay, that's really good. But things are so busy right now, and then we also got to prepare for January 3rd to come back. So there's a lot of moving parts. We're very excited we got this class, but we'll enjoy it in the proper time.
You've got 2 quarterbacks in this class. You have 3 quarterbacks with eligibility on the roster, other scholarship guys. Do you still see an immediate need for veterans that go forward?
I think I said earlier, it is a possibility. If the right one or right, person comes available, we'll at least listen, we'll see. I'm not ready to sit here and tell you, but we do know we have a lot of quarterbacks, and I think that's a good thing.
You've recruited a couple of them, so what sort
You can't have too many quarterbacks. You have to figure that thing out.
of experiences are you seeing in dealing with the transfer market at the quarterback position right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a new age in college football, and you look like in the past this has been the backups that have went in portal. Well, this year it's the starters, which that's a little bit new for everybody, and so just looking for the right fit. And my job is to make our team the best it possibly can be, and it doesn't matter what position that is. And so we'll see what happens.
And just to piggyback, that it's the starters this year. With the transfer portal, it's a new day. It's a new era. All right. You no longer can coaches just treat players any kind of way. Coaches now have to maintain those relationships, just like players have to maintain those relationships so they can retain their scholarship. It's a two-way street now. It ain't just it's a relationship. I gotta like you, you gotta like me. We gotta be on the same page so we can win. So you gotta take care of these guys. Anyway, moving on.
18 signees. Was that the size of the class what you wanted, envisioned, or did you see maybe adding more pieces? Obviously, you guys something. You look at getting some commitments in the transfer portal, but do you want to see that class?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Okay, I think first of all, and I've said this before, got to make sure hold on to our team first. And you never know with the portal when it's open if you lose some more players, and so if that happens, then I think you have other options that you have to, whether it's high school, whether it's transfers and all that. So it's a fluid situation from head coach's standpoint, and you just got to be ready to adjust.
It's obviously a different calendar now with December being the primary signing period, but how do you guys evaluate whether to add in February from the high school ranks? Is it a matter of seeing who's still out there, or are you resetting the board, or are you finding guys that are maybe late blue?
Yeah, I think it's all what I just said, kind of all the above. You just got to put everything together, and you see your needs, and then you never know if something, if in the portal, if something comes available that you feel like you have a need, then we'll try to address that. And if we don't have the need, we'll stay pat.
If you're tired of these overpriced recruiting services, come holler at your favorite coach at blindsidepro.com. Fill out my questionnaire. If I like what I see, I'm gonna hit you up on Twitter. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'm out.